Carl is next in St. Louis. Hey, Carl, what's up?
Hey, how are you doing, Dave? So glad to talk to you. Really excited getting there with you.
Well, thanks.
My wife and I have kind of been in debt most of our life, and boy, I wish I found you 20 years ago. And we paid off so much of our debt. We paid off my car a little quicker, and after that, we started putting that car payment towards her car. Then we got sick and tired of her car and started putting extra from savings to it. We kept our savings at a set level and put the extra against that car. And I was talking to my financial advisor about a week ago, and she's like, oh, my gosh, you just got one more month of this. Just pay it off. You're going to feel so glad you did. And so I did. I paid off the car, and boy, did I feel excited. So the only debt we have remaining is our house, and we owe $45,000 on the house. We have $35,000 in savings. My financial advisor is like, oh, man, you should just put 25 of that against your house. You can pay that off in 4 months then and just be done with it and then build your savings back up. And so I was kind of like, should I leave more in savings? Should I just follow that? Just take a big 25,000 chunk against savings and just knock the house out quick? Or should I just keep paying on the house more and knock it out in about 9 months?
Good for you. Wow. Well, I like your financial advisor.
I thought you might. I mention your name to her so much of the time.
Yeah, she hates debt. She hates debt bad, and that's good because your income, once you get it all freed up, is she knows the truth, is going to become your most powerful wealth building tool when you're not giving it all to someone else as a way of life, and you're beginning to experience the emotions of these numbers in the last few months. It sounds like, and it's very exciting for you. I'm proud of you. Very,
yeah, super
very cool.
exciting.
Okay, so we teach a process that comes from the same principles that she's leaning on. That's why she and I like each other, I can tell. And so baby step 1 is save $1,000. You've done that. Okay. Baby step 2 is become debt-free other than the home, and you've done that. Baby step 3 is have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Okay?
Okay.
So I don't want your savings below 3 months of household expenses. So if your household expenses are $3,000 a month, then we can go with her plan.
Well, without a house payment, it would definitely be.
Oh, you have a house
payment.
Sure. You have a house payment still.
Yeah, once that's knocked out, with house payment, it's probably okay. With house payment, monthly expenses is probably, probably pretty close to 3.
Okay. All right.
Well, no, that's not true. I don't think it's that much. I'd say it's probably. I mean, the house payment is
What's
my
your
biggest part
household
of it.
income?
I make 145. My wife makes 48. Right about 48. Okay. She's hourly.
Couple of $100 a year. Okay. And
yep.
So, yeah. And if you take, you said there's 35 in there, right, in your savings?
Yes.
And
yes.
40 on the house, or 40 or 45 on the house?
45 on the house.
Okay. So if we throw 25 at it, leave 10 in there, like she suggests, that means we have 20 left on a $200,000 household income, and you're done by Christmas then.
Yeah, I'll be done by Christmas for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want you below 10. Because
Are you okay with 10?
Borderline, but I just want you to gauge everything around you and be very wary, because if you have a $15,000 event, we got a problem, dude, and you make $200,000, and that's silly.
The other idea I had that I kind of threw at my wife is we were putting the first thing was take our house payment, put our 2 car payments against it, and then put the extra we're putting from savings, which takes us to a house payment of $5,100 a month. We're just going to keep cranking it up. And so my other idea was every month, pay that and then pay an additional $5,000 from savings and kind of see how we feel as we're going with that.
That would be okay too. Yeah, I just don't want, if I could establish real comfortably what 3 was, I mean, I'd be more comfortable with 15. I'd probably do it if it was 15. But people often call me and say, I have enough money in my savings account to pay off my house today, and it would leave me with $1,000 left in my account. And I would tell them no. And I'm the get out of debt guy. And I'm still telling them no, because I don't want you sitting there with $1,000 at this stage of your financial plan. Now, at the beginning of your financial plan, when you're broke and got a bunch of other debts and everything else, you're living on beans and rice, But this is more intentional than it is intensity at your stage. And so I just want to be wise and careful, even though I'm as excited as you are to get you out of debt. So I'm guessing that either way, you're out of debt by Christmas.
Yeah, it's going to be really close. If not, I mean, if we leave a little bit more in there, it's going to. I think we're.
Yeah. I mean, another way you could work it is,
we can against it.
We're just keep manipulating the numbers here. But if you said, okay, let's just call it 3 to 6 months, and let's call it 20 grand, throw the rest of it at it, and then just start chunking on the house, you're still going to make it. And if you don't, reach over and pull 10 out and take it down to 10 for 1 month.
Yeah.
In December, but just go, December, I'm done, as long as I don't go below 10 in my savings. But you could, if the math works on throwing it at the debt, or it works on throwing it in the account and then pulling it out of the account. So either way's fine. But I would not stop. Are you saving for a 401k? I would not stop that.
Absolutely. Yeah, my wife puts about 11% in. I'm putting about 7% in.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I'm putting about another 8% into Roth IRA.
Okay. Yeah, you got the right numbers in. I wouldn't stop that either. So the difference is only whether it's Christmas or whether it's March. That's the only difference. And and when you're 75 years old, that date won't matter.
I like the advice, Dave, and I'd actually be a little bit more cautious with that savings, because if it's me and I really want to get this because it's just intensity, he sees the finish line, how could you make 5 to 10 grand extra? That's what I'm looking at. I like that savings posture. I really do, having that just in case a big event happens, because you're talking about the difference between 3 months. Mm-hmm. So it's great advice. I certainly agree with you. I wouldn't personally. I started getting a little nervous listening to that, going lower than 15 myself. I was like, ooh. Yeah.
10 or 15's got to be your floor.
Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, you could just throw money. Leave the savings like it sits, and throw money at the house, and then when you get within striking distance of taking it down to 15, then do it in one lick.
Yeah.
Then you're sitting on savings the whole time while you're waiting to do it, and that won't mess you up either. You'll still get there in exactly the same period of time. Exactly. And so, yeah, it's a great place to be, though, Carl. I love where your head's at, and I like that you found a financial advisor who's understood that getting out of debt is the key to building wealth. Because not having any payments, you know what you can do if you don't have any payments? Anything you want. I mean, it opens up the door, baby. It's Americans live in such bondage that we don't even know what it's like to be free.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, if you're new to the show and you're listening and watching, Carl is a great example of where you can be. He started off by saying, I wish I had found you 20 years ago, but they've jumped into the process, and now he's looking at the finish line. He can't get there fast enough. It's a wonderful, wonderful place.